Welcome to the ITSM Practice podcast.
Welcome to the ITSM Practice podcast. I'm Luigi Ferri, your host. Today's focus: securing software development from SSDLC to third-party risk. Drum roll, please. Let's dive in. How do we introduce the Secure Software Development Lifecycle? The SSDLC is a proactive approach to software development, integrating robust security measures at every phase, from design through deployment and beyond. This method anticipates security risks and embeds rigorous testing protocols to ensure the architecture is secure from the outset. How critical is the importance of secure software development lifecycle? In today's tech-driven environment, the old paradigm of launching software and patching bugs later is obsolete. Developers must address security vulnerabilities with potential access to source code increasingly common. Integrating security into the SDLC is not merely an enhancement, but a necessity to shield applications against sophisticated attacks. Tools like Application Security Posture Management provide a vital, comprehensive view of application vulnerabilities and security configurations. How can organizations evolve from traditional SDLC to embrace security? Traditional SDLC methodologies focus on delivering functional software through a structured approach, often sidelining security considerations. Security steps, if present, were tacked on rather than integrated, viewed as optional enhancement rather than essential elements. This outdated approach is insufficient in today's landscape, where security threats are both more sophisticated and potentially more damaging. How can organizations advance to security by design? The trend towards security by design reflects a fundamental shift in how developers build software. It is no longer acceptable to consider security as an afterthought. Instead, security must be woven into the fabric of the software development process, mandated by both consumer demand and the increasing prevalence of regulatory requirements. High-profile breaches and the vulnerabilities within third-party software have underscored the need for stringent security measures right from the inception of the development cycle. By the way, in the podcast, you can also find an episode focused on security by design. How can organizations implement a culturally embedded secure SDLC? The successful implementation of a secure SDLC demands more than just procedural changes. It requires a cultural transformation within the organization. This transformation begins with a commitment from the top, ensuring that security becomes a core component of all software development activities. Such an environment not only promotes rigorous security practices, but also supports transparency, reliability, and accountability through the software development and deployment phases. How do historical contexts and modern needs relate to secure SDLC? Reflecting on the evolution of application security, the past shows us that physical access was once required to exploit software vulnerabilities. Today, The interconnected nature of a global digital infrastructure means that software can be attacked from anywhere, making robust security measures crucial at every stage of development. What does NIST framework offer for a secure SDLC? The NIST Secure Software Development Framework is a key for organizations aiming to incorporate security into their development cycles comprehensively. This framework outlines critical practice across four main areas: organizational preparation, software protection, secure software production, and vulnerability response. These practices ensure that security considerations are an integral part of the SDLC, addressing both direct and third-party risks effectively. What should we consider about third-party components in secure software development? Incorporating third-party components in software development presents both opportunities and significant security risks. Managing these risks involves comprehensive assessment, strategic selection processes, and continuous oversight. How do we evaluate third-party components? Define purpose. Evaluate different components to identify which best fulfills the required functionality. Document the advantage and disadvantage of at least 3 options to make an informed choice. Determine feasibility and maintainability. Assess both the cost and the long-term maintainability of third-party components, considering integration efforts and the ability to keep up with updates without becoming reliant on outdated technologies. How do we assess the risks associated with the third-party components? Business impact assessment and third-party risk assessment. These are critical for understanding and mitigating the risks posed by third-party vendors, evaluating their security and privacy aspects. Regular security audits. Review and audit third-party components regularly to ensure compliance with organizational security standards, including the vendor security practices and incident response capabilities. How can we use software composition analysis and software bill of materials? Software composition analysis, SCA tools, help analyze software components to identify vulnerabilities and security gaps, enhancing the security posture of third-party elements. Software bill of materials and SBOM provides a detailed list of all components, aiding in managing vulnerabilities and understanding the impact of third-party components on overall security. How do we manage risks within the supply chain? Visibility and transparency. Ensure visibility into the supply chain to identify and mitigate risk introduced by third-party components. Continuous monitoring and updating. Regularly update third-party components to defend against new vulnerabilities. Would you like to know about vendor communication and collaboration? Stakeholder communication. Maintain regular communication with the third-party vendors to ensure adherence to security requirements and coordinate response strategies for vulnerabilities. collaborative risk management. Work collaboratively with vendors to manage risks, ensuring alignment with security expectations and requirements. What actions do we need to take for secure software development? As the software becomes increasingly central to business operations and everyday life, securing the development process is imperative. Organizations must adopt a holistic approach to security, incorporating rigorous standards and frameworks like the NIST SSDF to mitigate risk effectively. The integration of third-party components requires a robust approach to security, embedded within the SSDLC framework. By implementing comprehensive assessments, utilizing advanced tools like SCA and SBOM, and fostering strong vendor collaborations, organizations can mitigate risk effectively. This strategic approach not only enhances the security posture of the final product, but also aligns with the best practices for modern software development in an interconnected digital landscape. As we conclude today's episode of the ITSM Practice podcast, let's reflect on our journey. From understanding the importance of secure SDLC to managing third-party risks, we have gained valuable insights. Now, how will you implement these strategies in your organization? I'm Luigi Ferri, and it's been a pleasure hosting this discussion. Until next time, stay secure and keep innovating. Arrivederci.